I'm not even gonna try to be nice. Like, I want to be like, oh, I appreciate that you care, but I'd rather you didn't if this is the way you care, you know? Like, this is not helpful to me. This is an impediment to me, is people, like, fucking making up their own mental fiction about me and then living in that world and, like, playing, like, acting like I'm in it. Read my post, live in this world and play there, please. And then stop living in your own delusions about what's going on.
Okay. Trixie's here. She doesn't know what I'm filming for, but I just saw the greatest YouTube comment we've ever received from somebody who doesn't like me.
Okay.
I'd like her to read it for the first time on camera.
Riley, I say this with the utmost sincerity. Please stop corrupting Digi. Please get out of their life. There. You are not a good person. You, also Digi. You, Bird, and Digi need to part ways. You have been a net negative on this content creator's life, and you are actively stifling any chance of them rebounding from a terrible lull. You are the reason their Patreon is deep in the pits. You are the reason they broke up with Pantsu. You are the reason so much dissent is being lobbed by genuine and now sadly former fans, and this is all your doing. If you had a heart, if you had a soul, you would take stock of the situation you've created for yourself instead of censoring those trying to speak to someone that you used to look up to. You aren't...
That's about me. We turned off comments on our music.
On music videos.
Right.
Yeah,
I know it's about music because later in, hold on. Later in there, he mentions how we're making you like puke on camera. Right. Hilarious. Keep reading.
Idiot. You aren't an authority for Digi. You've said hateful things to them on camera and likely off camera just as much. What kind of hateful things did you say to me on camera?
I just tell you when you're saying something dumb or that I think is stupid.
You're now reveling in the hate like being evil and legitimately harming someone is something to aspire to. You're parading around footage of a content creator puking their guts out under the guise of making profound artistic statements. Buddy.
Do you want to address how music videos work?
Yeah, it was like banana and a smoothie. Like a naked drink, one of those.
And it was in your mouth, and then you like
I chewed it up and spit it out into a toilet. I must have done a real convincing job.
Dude, our props department is on top of it.
Yeah.
I've seen several comments like regarding that, like, oh, this isn't good. This is abusive or whatever. Like they think you really made yourself throw up for a music video.
Funny. I can and I will forgive any and all poor decision Digi made, and all the times they shrug. That's not good. Even I wouldn't. I don't want you to forgive any and all decisions I've made. And all the times they shrugged my and other fans' attempt to help them, because it's clear that this is all your fault. If you ignore this comment, you're a coward. If you delete this comment, you're a coward. If you keep up this facade with someone you claim to care about, you're just feeding into potential depression and suicide down the line. I will repeat that. It is my firmly held belief, should Digi lose themselves into yet another depression crawl, you, not Pantsu, not the PCP, not even Digi themselves, you will be fully culpable. Ask yourself if you want that guilt, because it's not a matter of if anymore, it's when. This is what you've done. This is the legacy you're leaving behind for someone people actually care about. Buddy.
Alright, go ahead and... Because we're...
If you care about me, you wouldn't call me Digi or they. I put my pronouns in my fucking bio. I didn't want to, goddammit. I'm tired of this shit. If you care about me, do the fucking thing I said. Please. That's the one thing that pisses me off. Riley didn't do that. There ain't no they, them. Okay.
Just start from like the first line and address that. This needs to happen. There needs to be a little lecture on this YouTube comment.
So first of all, Riley's not corrupting me. And I'm the one like trying to have Riley be around. I want help with the things I do. Like I've always been saying, like how I've always been saying, like, man, it would be really nice to have someone who could like hold the camera while I'm reading comments on a vlog and like, you know, just like help with fulfillment of things like all those things we raffled that got shipped right away.
Oh yeah, 2 days later, yeah. I made sure all that was done.
Organizing my ability to actually enter the rap world.
People probably don't know what a producer does. I'm just helping B produce content.
Well, not to mention you even directed a whole music movie and made a bunch of beats for me to use. Like, you're a producer on multiple ends of the spectrum of production.
I like to meet people and make stuff.
And me too. You've been a net negative on this content creator's life. That is definitely not true. Actively stifling any chance of them rebounding from a terrible lull. Why do people think I am in a personal lull? Like, even if, which I'm going to contend with your statements about my finances, but even if my finances were in a lull, if I'm telling you that everything else about my life is really good, and that I took a financial blow on purpose so I could sort out the rest of my life, I don't understand how that's difficult for people to process. Like, I know that you don't have a job that you're allowed to, like, quit doing for a few months to sort through your feelings, but I, you know, got this job so I could do that. So I really just can't vibe on this kind of shit. You are the reason their Patreon is deep in the pits. My Patreon has barely gone down at all since you guys have lived here. It was already in the pits because I had canceled all of my reward tiers and continued to not fulfill the ones I owed for a long time.
None of that is shit any friend of mine would do. I didn't know you yet.
Not to mention, COVID had happened. A lot of people had already depatroned because of that. Like, yeah, my Patreon was down to like $1,200 a month, I think, by the time you guys moved in. And it's at like $1,000 a month now. It's like not even much of a decline. And by my standards, I only really pay attention to
I'm sure you've lost a ton and gained a ton.
Oh, I've gained and lost a ton. Yeah, like, it's always cycling through people. You are the reason they broke up with Pantsu. That's not even close to true. I mean, first of all, I didn't break up with Pantsu. Bitch broke up with me, cheated on me, and left. Like, nobody could have helped that.
Weeks later, you and Bird, like, started to like each other because of our travels, and then, like, a month and a half, like, it was, like, mid-October you were, like, dating.
If you had a heart, if you had a soul, you would take stock of the situation you've created for yourself instead of censoring those trying to speak to someone they used to look up to. I'm the one who gets mad at comments and deletes them. Riley has never deleted any comments. He will...
I don't know why people think it's me doing it.
Like, but only if, like, they're... I mean, you have your own circumstances.
Well, people will come in and just, like... try to cleverly say the N-word, or try to cleverly call you, like, a T-slur. Exactly. Like, I ban people who comment stuff about troons because they're they're not only trying to be disrespectful, they have a mind about it enough that they are avoiding YouTube's censorship that disallows them from doing so.
Even before I get into,
takes
like,
intent.
Us, like, even before I get into us, like, justifying doing anything like that, or me personally removing comments, like, YouTube asks us to do that. YouTube tells creators, you need to police your comments because you will lose advertisers if they see hate in your comments. I am supposed to fucking do it. So
yeah, we're just not concerned with what random YouTube viewers think of our moderation.
Let's see. You've said hateful things to them on camera and likely off camera just as much. I don't know what this is referring to. I don't know what they took as a hateful thing.
I'm much more hateful off camera. Not just as much.
You were probably like, oh, you're dumb because you're a girl now or something, and they took that as like...
Oh, well, during the RV building stream, I'd, like, yell at you when you were, like, saying dumb shit, or when you were talking... When you were talking shit about May and saying, oh, I don't really want to talk shit about May, I laid into you, because you can't say shit like that.
Yeah.
You can't be like, oh, I'm not really going to talk shit about her while talking shit about her. Like, you have to just admit you're doing something wrong.
This person needs to reassess the word hateful, the way they think of that word. There's nothing hateful about correcting someone's behavior. You wouldn't do that to someone you hate.
Well, these are people who are correcting your behavior and think it's hateful for me to do it. But I'm just the only one who has justified my ability to do so. Right. You listen to me because you respect me.
You're parading around footage of a content creator puking their guts out. We already went over this one, but yeah, it's literally bananas and a naked drink that I'm spitting out. I guess very convincingly. That's so funny.
You just are good at acting like you look drunk or high. We weren't. It's all prop shit. Yeah. We're not even fucking. We smoked one round of joints.
Yeah.
Like, it's fake. Look,
people don't.
You guys, music videos are not indicative of the way we spend the rest of our day.
Anyone.
Like,
music videos they're videos, they're movies.
They're fucking entertaining.
They're music movies. That's why we call them that. Oh boy, I can and will forgive any and all poor decision Digi made. That's very strange.
I do not forgive Beatrice for deleting her YouTube videos and changing her channel name. But I don't approve of the way she changed it from Digibro to Digi instead of, like, figuring out what she was really doing before changing anything. Right. These are things that people blame on me, but that I would not have co-signed at all.
If you ignore this comment, you're a coward. If you delete
we would never.
You're a coward. If you keep up this facade with someone you claim to care about, you're just feeding into potential depression and suicide down the line. I don't get that.
You're gonna kill yourself because I'm friends with you. I don't know, because I really support you and want you to do what you want to do and want to find ways that it's economically viable for us to continue doing so. I'm the bad guy.
It's so... I think people are just mad that you, like, this person seems upset that you got close and could have an effect on me when they couldn't, because he says, like, all the times they shrugged my and other fans' attempts to help them.
Right.
And it's like, well, the reason I shrug your attempts to help me is that this is how you communicate, where you can't even respect the name that I want you to use when you refer to me. That's, like, step one respect. I don't understand how you could possibly fathom that, like, communicating this way, like, is automatically like, oh, well, it's going to be really hard for me to listen to you. Like, even if you had a good point, I would struggle to hear it through the fact that you don't respect me enough to communicate with me in a way that you know I want. If you keep up this facade with someone you claim, I've already read that. I'll repeat that. This is my firmly held belief that should Digi lose themselves into yet another depression crawl, you, not Pantsu, not the PCP, not even Digi themselves, will have been fully culpable. Implying that Pantsu or the PCP ever would have been culpable. Like,
the only person culpable for someone feeling sad is the person who feels sad.
Right,
That's
exactly.
always the case.
Yeah.
It is massively mentally ill to base your personal beliefs and moods and stuff on what other people think or do.
Absolutely.
Like, nobody should do that. Like, yeah, you're going to be sad you lost a relationship you had for a long time, but you're not sad that you lost that person. You were sad that, like, your routine has changed, or that you don't have a person, or this or that.
I have to totally rethink what my life is now,
yes, and that's an appropriate, like, there are mourning periods for a reason.
Exactly.
It's appropriate to feel disheartened by someone's absence in your life. It is not appropriate to be depressed because of that. Yeah. And you've never been like that. Your depression is always because you don't like yourself or something. Like, it's always something like that.
Yeah.
You've never had a video that's like, oh, I'm sad because of this friendship ending.
No, exactly. I mean, if anything, like, I'm really a fan of knowing where I stand with people. So, like, if it's a lot easier for me if somebody's just like, hey, we're not doing things together anymore, than it is if it's like a weird, standoffish, we all feel ways but no one's saying anything type of situation. It's like, I'd rather have it over with, you know? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Ask yourself if you want that guilt. I don't think Riley would feel guilt if I fucked up badly enough to kill myself.
I don't feel guilt about myself. Feeling guilt is an impediment.
I agree.
Now, I have, like, okay, sorry, let me rephrase that before it gets picked apart in the comments.
Okay.
I don't feel guilt when I make mistakes that I'm not, like, that aren't anything to be guilty about.
Right.
Hurting someone, that is something to feel guilty about.
Yeah.
Like, someone else being sad about something you did is not something to be guilty about.
Right.
Stealing something might be something to be guilty about. Just this ethereal, like, emotional stuff. Like, there's no responsibility to place.
It's not a matter of if anymore, it's when. This person is convinced I'm going to commit suicide.
But this is someone who's on your side.
Yeah!
They just want me and your boyfriend to fuck off so you can kill yourself.
It's not a matter of anymore. If anymore, it's when. This is what you've done. This is the legacy you're leaving behind for someone people actually care about. If you really cared, this is not the... If you really cared, do you really think a YouTube comment is the way to approach that? I have open DMs on Twitter, dude. Like, what is this? This is the weirdest, most parasocial shit, and I don't see how you can lack self-awareness of this. I don't see how you can be a fan of me and lack self-awareness of what you're doing. Like, if you cared about Digi, the character, Digi would certainly have fucking destroyed you for this. I merely laugh, but, I've got a camera on, so I had to give you a little bit of fucking what you deserve.
Well, they said that if we delete it or ignore it...
Then it's cowardice,
Then we're cowardly, so it's just going to be a main channel video.
It's what you wanted, my friend. I'm sorry, I'm not even going to try to be nice. Like, I want to be like, oh, I appreciate that you care, but I'd rather you didn't if this is the way you care, Like, this is not helpful to me. This is an impediment to me, is people... like, fucking making up their own mental fiction about me and then living in that world and, like, playing, like, acting like I'm in it. Read my post, live in this world and play there, please. And then stop living in your own delusions about what's going on. Thanks for watching another Yig Studio movie. Our crew is always on the go, so we're always leading up to some kind of event. The next place you can catch us is at the show on screen right now, so check it out if you want to see what we've got going on in person.